This is an interview series where we try to find out more about how e-commerce businesses are dealing with and learning from these unprecedented times. Today we'll be joined by Martin and Nadine from It's a Mega Thing, an office supply retailer located in Australia. Office supplies were obviously in high demand due to people being forced to stock up to work from home. However, a lot of businesses closed their offices, so it'll be interesting to see how their business has been affected. Let's jump right into the questions. Since the pandemic has hit, how has demand changed for you and how have you adjusted to it?
We have basically doubled our talent that work on the floor here with us. We've split shifts, so we've got a morning shift and an afternoon shift to deal with the volume. Order volume on Mega has, what did you say, tripled? Yeah, tripled. Dymo has doubled, and Posca has 12x nearly. So Posca's off a smaller base, of course, but the other two stores are quite large. Now, prior to the pandemic, we were experiencing double-digit growth anyway, and it was just a nice increased growth curve, but we've had to pivot and adjust very quickly. And we've all worked extra hours. We've all come in on the weekends, and it's been a nice challenge. We've enjoyed it, and just trying to manage customer expectations now is probably our biggest concern, and that's just using the platforms of social and EDMs, and also our customer service team here that respond. I think we've got 1,400 emails we've got to get to today when we logged in, plus phone calls, and managing all the other social channels as well. So in terms of how do we do it, we've basically got a number of teams. So on the floor here in Australia on the Gold Coast, we've got our customer service team and purchasing team. We've got our pickers and packers and trackers in the warehouse. We've got our chat support team, which we use through an agency in Sydney, and they're outsourced to the Philippines. And we visited them only last year. Great little workers, and they manage all our chats for us. We use HubSpot as our CRM, so we're just implementing that as being our backbone for customer journey, so we can see A, that we're not missing things, and B, that everyone's been answered to. And then above that, we've got developers in Beirut and also another agency in London as well. So we're quite we've been in it since 2009, so we've learned the ropes. We've burned our fingers. But we were all cloud-based. We were ready for this type of not that we knew this situation was coming, but we knew the future was e-commerce back in 2009. Even though the industry didn't really do it, and as a result, from what I've heard from suppliers, they're not coping all that well, and they're on the other end of the spectrum where they just don't know what to do, putting staff off or on leave. Definitely not. And the other thing is that being the e-commerce business that we are, we've got the fantastic privilege of being paid up front. So cash flow is not an issue for us. And what we're actually seeing with suppliers is a tightening on credit for their supply, because they know that traditional dealers have got stuff on account, and those accounts are closed and not trading, so money's not coming in. So it's going to come up the chain pretty quickly, and there's a huge credit risk for these traditional businesses. But we're in a good position where we have 60-day terms, but we're paying our suppliers within basically 10. So just to prove that we're able to keep it going. So previously we were sort of, I guess suppliers and the industry didn't quite know what we were doing, because they were probably scared or not familiar or understood the whole thing. But now we've turned out to be a bit of a saving grace for them. So we are now from their product to the consumer. And we do it pretty well.
So what do you attribute the rise in demand to in regards to the pandemic? Like, why are people buying more of your products all of a sudden?
It's everyday items. I mean, there was in Australia, they were all, I guess, like everywhere, told to work from home. So we saw, well, initially what we saw on Australia Day, which was the end of January, was face masks. I saw that come through on a Saturday. I'm like, gee, our face masks are going up. So we've got direct accounts with 3M. So I basically went crazy and spent nearly $100,000 worth of masks, saying, "Well, this is," and that was just to anticipate the demand that was coming through. So we got a few across the line because we were supplying Australia's Border Force in Sydney, so they got fulfilled by us. So 3M worked well with us in terms of that, but as it was just complete panic buying by everyone, they basically put the brakes on. We couldn't get. And then my mum actually says, "Gee, you need to get toilet paper." And I thought, "Oh, do you think so?" So we ordered some toilet paper, and that got cleaned up within bloody 30 minutes, I reckon. And now we've got 2 containers due to us over the next month, which already been pre-sold. And we'll be able to fulfil that basically in the next 30 days. So toilet tissue was it, and the other one was sanitizers. So hand sanitizers, we support our brands, and it's Northfolk, and that's manufactured in Canberra. It's the nation's capital, so which is out of Sydney, and we started supporting them and getting large orders, and then basically we got notification from their CEO that was a 15-week lead time, so we communicated that to our customers. And in the meantime, and we're getting our first bulk batch of orders come through basically today. I think I'm expecting about 10 or 15 pallets of bloody sanitizer to turn up in the dock. So it's going to be a late night tonight. but they're basically, I think they're coming to us because we've evolved into this since 2009, so we've actually had a very strong foothold. We've spent a lot of money reinvesting back into the business in terms of making sure our products are fleshed appropriately, have all the information that's there. My original sort of mission was to create the shopping experience virtually there for customers, so that was what I was working on. And I reckon we spent probably 4 years going through 25,000 SKUs, ensuring that the descriptions are fine, the images are good, and now we're just going through redoing a whole range of videos for certain products. So right now we've got our own videographer, and you'd probably be familiar with Gary V and D-Rock. So he basically comes on site and does what we're doing now, interviews or does product demos, and builds compilations of our team and the huddles that we get up to every morning. Not so much lately because it's been so busy, but just keep that team thing happening.
It sounds like you've just been smart about and you had the relationships to acquire the products that are just in high demand. So it's not so much office supply stuff. You're actually going out there and getting hand sanitizer and mask, and a lot of your growth is driven by those products that are just hard to acquire these days. Is that accurate?
Well, initially, yes. So that we had big spikes on that first sort of week for the masks, and when it all went panic buy here in Australia. But now, mate, we're seeing a lot of office supplies. Our bread and butter products going out and in volumes as well, and it's mainly people work from home. They don't want to go out, or they're fearful of going out, and we're just I mean, even now we're having supply chain issues because I think the turnover of office supplies in Australia is the same as the state of California. That's how small we are on the scale of things. But still, we have trouble sourcing it, and that supply chain is limited. And of course, a lot of this stuff was coming out of China as well. So we had a bit of supply issues there as well.
My next question would be, you had mentioned that you doubled your team to be able to handle the increase in demand. How did you go about finding those people? And was it more or less difficult than it would normally be to acquire that much talent?
We got a very good relationship with some local agencies, and to employ especially young people as well. And we, through that relationship we have built over the last year and a half, when we rebranded Mega Thing, we have gained some brilliant talent that are capable to not only just do one role, but are able to be versatile and slot into different roles. So we're not relying on just that one person, and we can keep that rotation going. And we're able to upskill them and last year, for the last 4 months. So that kind of prepared us for this busy time now that occurred since January. And we were able to slot them into the higher skilled one, and we could train the new team members that come on board this year or last month, and that could just slot into those other areas with the support around it. So it worked fantastically well. And we worked strongly with our standard operation procedures and do in our daily morning huddle, and take them through step by step on how to package a parcel and where that eye for detail comes in, because this is our only time where we can connect with our customers, where they receive a personalised card. So they representing themselves. So it's not just Mega, they sign their name on the postcard, and that's how we connect. And it's beautifully to see that they are able to transform that connection on a card and connect with that customer on the order form where it says it's our anniversary. So they write on the card, "Congratulations, happy first anniversary." And it's not your, pre-template, and it's made with love. And at the moment, they do a lot of keep safe and stay safe, and you can do this positive affirmation. So I believe we have gained some fantastic talent around us who can excel and make our vision come true. And we pivot pretty much each day and identify any bottlenecks that occur with our open feedback, and adjust these and try them out. So, which is fantastic that we're able to do that. So we don't have to spring through hoops. We can adjust very quickly where other companies may struggle to do so because they have too many, middle management, I suppose, in between. So we encourage our team to be open, and we go, okay, well, this didn't work, let's give that a try. So we've been very lucky to receive emails daily where people look for work, especially in this uncertain time, or where we get sent through the agency some new applications. But I think what's very wonderful in our current environment, that our team themselves promote our business. So we just engaged 2 more talents yesterday, and they came within our team from their friends who were actively looking, and they were really good applications, which we believe they fit in quite well. And if they have the right attitude and passion with a little bit of spark, they might not have the experience, but that they have the drive that really benefits our Mega Thing vision.
So, with the people that you've hired during this pandemic, Are you anticipating those being long-term hires, or are you structuring those relationships differently than you normally would to give you a little more flexibility?
Yes, we have structured them a little bit different. So we have taken them on a full-time casual basis at the moment, to see if this is just the spike from those certain products, but what we anticipate. So this exercise of those, I would call hygiene or pandemic products, like your toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and mask. This is more an exercise to retain customers, so that they haven't used us before and now they find out our Megathing way or the Megathing experience, and that's how we hope that they return into long-term customer relationships. And we believe, this exercise hopefully assist us to have long-term that turnover. We see a stabilization probably the last 2 weeks on daily revenue and conversion through all these free platforms, and we hope to secure and build and keep those team members on for longer. But at this point in time, we have them on the full-time casual basis, and we hopefully to see that we can keep them longer, because there's a fine balance at the moment with those products. Whilst there is the challenge we're facing at the moment, we advertised this product A at beginning of January for X amount of dollars. Now the supplier says there's a price increase of $20. Whilst we can adjust that price currently, which we have done, we still need to honour that price for that advertised rate, which puts us in a balancing position where we lose kind of potentially that money, but we're hoping that the service we provide, that we retain or keep them for the other purchases.
So it's more about the lifetime value. Of the
Lifetime value, yeah. We don't do the Tinder approach. We look for the long run. We're there for the long run.
Have you added remote work for any of your staff where remote work is possible?
No, we are set up to go, being all cloud-based with BigCommerce, obviously, for the back end, Xero for accounts, and our accountants are all, they don't come in here. And Sin7 is our ERP. So that's all web-based too. So it's we haven't needed to. We've been able to do isolation, social distancing here. Someone's got the job of going around every hour spraying people's hands with sanitizer. That's homemade because we can't source it. We sold it. So we haven't needed to, but if we needed to mobilise our customer service staff for any reason, it's no issue at all.
Well, you guys, I think you mentioned it earlier, though, a lot of your, development staff, a lot of your technical support and things like that. I mean, you're already remote with that. Like, you're already working with at least external organizations for a lot of that support.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we're in a business networking group as well, and when this sort of happened, it was all face to face, big 500-person conference in Sydney. And they're like, "No, we're pulling the pin," and I'm like, "That's fine, just log into Zoom." And they're like, "What?" And I said, "Here you go," and bang, we're all doing Zoom. So it was all, I'd probably see myself as a bit of a futurist or visionary, I guess, and that or maybe it's when I used to be a Cub Scout and be prepared. So I don't know.
But with social distancing rules, what are you doing to comply with those rules while still being able to run the business and ship orders?
So we have ensured that the team in this certain area, our customer service team, the desks are far apart. We have line marked it out, as well as in the warehouse. All the station are from the original. We didn't have to do much change. Really, it was already sorted. From that point, we were very lucky. We have obviously put certain signs up for our couriers and delivery gentlemen that are come daily or 3 times a day. And through there, because they are a big company as well, they have, where they just take the names and we don't have to sign the pads, and we have bollards outside. We are only online, so we don't have walk-ins or, off the street customers as such, but we do get
well, we removed
at
our click and
times.
collect offering.
Yeah.
We removed that pretty early. So
Yeah, we have things in place like signs outside that really helped.
And it's so everyone's
to
aware
prepare.
of it here in Australia. They're very conscious of it. So it wasn't, we were doing, and like I said before, the hand sanitizer, we're spraying keyboards every night, and Glen 20.
And they got the gloves. Yeah.
Egg packing gloves.
Yeah.
So, no, it's working well. But we didn't have to change much apart from increase our awareness, I guess, is the short answer.
Yeah.
How, if at all, have you changed your marketing strategy during this pandemic?
We've basically gone harder. We know that we were ready for this, but weren't ready, or we're evolving to adapting to the volume, I guess. But we saw, in terms of AdWords or social, a lot of our competitors were pulled back completely. So it saw an increase in traffic that cost a lot less. We weren't competing for keywords. Social's always been a very good platform for us for conversions. We haven't pulled back at all. We've just learned from that and gone harder where it works. We removed products from our feeds that were long delays, like sanitizers that might be 15 weeks away. So we omitted products from that feed. That's probably the only change, but yeah, we've gone harder.
What difficulties are you having with any of your providers or suppliers? Are you having any issues with, shipping and logistics? You having any trouble replenishing inventory? And how are you handling those?
So like with eCommerce, we put ETAs once we know about ETAs. However, it's been so dynamic at one stage daily. For example, that mask where the 3M were producing only in the US to supply Australia. And the only thing that saved Australia and got us a few conversions there was because we had the bushfires. So we still needed to cover that off the back end of the bushfires in Australia. So supply chain, we've sold out some of our brands in Australia, but they are coming through. It's just a longer time to get. There has been delays, yes, and also on the delivery end, we might get an order at 11 o'clock at night. We've come in, we've fulfilled it that next morning, and put it on Australia Post. But then Australia Post has been pushed out to up to 7 or 10 days.
14.
Or 14 to probably the other side of the country. So, and then customers who aren't so mindful of that situation will review us as being poor, even though we fulfilled that order within eight business hours. So it's just the third parties or that have sort of let down that. But people should be mindful and aware that this has never happened before, and we are doing our best. And there's a lot of other people out there taking advantage of the situation in terms of scammers that can actually tar our online position. But hopefully people look a little bit deeper and see that we've got such a big presence. Our name's trademarked. It's we're not part of that.
And we have some wonderful supporters as well from the supply chains, as well as existing customers that support us on social and on the Trust Pilot, which we use for feedback. and we make sure, or I take lots of pride that I respond to each one review received, and taken those very seriously, in the sense that they provide us great opportunity to pivot again if we need to. Because whilst we received a 3-star review yesterday, whilst everything happened as it was meant to happen, he felt the communication wasn't efficient enough, so we were able to amend the response to him personally, but also see that as an opportunity that other customers feel the same way. And we added additional information on the dispatch notification that there might be delays from those courier companies involved, and to be aware, but that we, try to keep you as up to date as the information unfolds. So that's been very helpful. So there's always an opportunity with anything that comes our way, even though if it might not look as positive, I think there's a lot of chances to turn them around.
So what are the long-term impacts to your business once we're back to business as usual from all of this?
I think the long-term impacts is probably expansion for us. I believe that we're just going to be better and bigger, and also not forget our wowing our customers, and that small, so big business impact with also small business customer experience. So yeah.
So what have you learned from this experience that will permanently change how you do business?
I think stock holdings is probably a big thing for us. But in saying that, we did a lot of cross-docking anyway. I mean, we were looking at bigger premises anyway, or moving to Sydney, or expanding to another distribution centre in Sydney and Melbourne. So it's just it was stuff that was all in the pipeline, but now it's sort of moved up the ladder a bit closer. We just need more room. We just need more room, I think. I mean, we use state of the art like Sin7's ERP, which manages our orders for us. We're using HubSpot as a CRM now, so we're very adaptable, and like Nadine says, pivot quite easily for the situation that's required.
I think biggest lesson learned, that whilst we only online and don't have a shop front as such, that our customers still want that one-on-one experience, and that I think that we on checkout through the BigCommerce channel, or through the other email communication, that this is the point where we can connect with them, and like other people or other companies might just use their standard email with "Hi there," or we use their names. So it's that is our, I think, advantages, and that worked really well. And I think that's the biggest lesson, that they still want to be heard and want to feel they're here with us, whilst we experience through the internet a like walk-in experience with the video demonstration images and all the description. Martin and the team worked so hard to establish over the last 4 years, that now the connection, customers still want that connection, and I believe we're doing that really well, and more so than ever. Before it was just a transaction a couple of years ago, but now it becomes a experience and a relationship.
Do you expect any lasting impacts to your industry as a whole?
Yeah, well, I think buying behaviour is going to change. they're going to say, gee, those that were scared of online purchasing, I think that's just they've been forced into realising that it's not that bad, and will become the new normal.
Businesses as ours, where they take payment up front for certain items, can secure the products much quicker. And I think we will be one of the leaders in that industry where we can fulfill and turn around that order confirmation process as their expectation as they walk into a store. I think that will be a standout for Australia, I believe, where we differ from others as we don't have that 30-day or 60 or 90-day account where the supply chain or manufacturer have to wait. We are ready. We receive the payment from our customers by the minute. We order twice a day, and we can pay for those products ordered within a day. So we are very good in that credit rating, and that's what the relationship, I think our suppliers enjoy, especially now, because they can see, yes, we have received this order, yes, we have received the payment, and let's do this. There's no doubt of, can they pay? Can they, do I need to ask that question? Are you in trading capacity? We can. We are secure in that space.
Also, then the other thing that will change is that supplier relationship with Mega, because I'm very insulated in terms of, I don't know what the hell, while being so busy, I don't know what's going on in the industry. And when I do ask the questions of my suppliers, well, firstly, they're approaching us, say, we can't wait to talk to you, like you have as well, to say, what are you doing? Because you are the only one that's doing it and able to pay your bills, I guess. They're realising that, wow, this is something that can really work, and they want to. They were just very slow to pivot and say, oh, gee, online looks okay, but now I think they're like, crap, this is what we need to do, and we've already got meetings set up with the owners and CEOs saying, how can we get more product and help you and get our product out to the people. So I think the relationship is what's going to change is the supplier relationship with their distributors and dealers.
The conversations we had last year, it was more, oh, what do you do? How can you prove it? Well, we received it overall because they wanted to know, because we've done a lot of social and product pushes through Google and etc., that they couldn't quite point the sales figures to Mega, but because the customer may have seen the product through us, but they might have then purchased it somewhere else because it was in store there. So it was hard for the supplier to understand where the origination of the sale came from, where I think now they can see through our online presence and push, and we're working really close with those sales and order on a weekly review, that they can now see the impact we're having. And if we push a product like we did, those whiteboards.
The desk whiteboards.
The desk whiteboards, that they then go, oh, why do you want so many? What's happening? And they are afraid of that impact. But I think they're realising if we push something, we can make it happen. So it's a different positive encouragement and confirmation for us, I think.
I just think what's going to change is going to be a bloody exciting ride moving forward, and we can't wait. We're really the bounce backs, and that's why you say you're going to keep these staff on or not. I would be betting that yes, we are, and we'll be getting more, I believe, because when they bounce back, this all calms down next year. it's going to be great guns. And also, I'm concerned about businesses that are out there at the moment that aren't going to get paid, and what's their future like. So, once again, as we saw competition pull back on the online space in terms of SEM, it's competition on the ground is going to be reduced as well, and that can be from the small operators to the larger operators, because the bigger they are, the harder they fall, and it's us that are active, are nimble and responsive, and can turn on a dime, that will get out of this and do really well out of it. So, and keep investing back into the business to keep finding ways to make it better. We're not about profits. We really enjoy what we do here, and it's reinvesting, making it better, and crushing it.
What kind of changes do you expect in consumer behavior coming out of this pandemic?
Shopping online isn't so scary anymore for these people. It's the new normal, and once they've had that mega experience, that's why we anticipate a retention rate or return shopper to increase. So I think from a consumer, you've got to, if you're not online, you've got to know what you are. So.
But I think also that kind of subscription-based model will be more prominent in the office space or office stationery area. We have seen that interest and that query through. Can we, save on if we order every month and we know we have to order X amount of paper or Post-it notes? Is there something that can just reoccur, even on the smaller scale, not just the larger companies?
And this is something that we're working on prior to, and we're launching pretty quickly actually, is subscription-based stuff for some of our stores. And also we're building a dynamic builder bundle. So like at the moment, one of our shopping centres is saying, here's a essentials pack, which has toilet tissue and soap or whatever it is for the elderly in Australia. So they order one of those, and we tried to do that about 4 or 5 years ago. We called it the mega box, but the problem is people all didn't want a blue pen and a red pen and whatever. So what we're doing now is creating people the opportunity to build their bundle. That's their stuff they use every week up to a certain value, and we will populate that for them and ship it out for them. So it's some really clever and exciting stuff that we're doing. This is with our partners that we do the development with. So it's in works now. It's working on another store, but we'll be adapting it into Mega and my own Posca in the very near future. Some real exciting stuff.
What was the biggest surprise for you from this current economic situation?
We did our yearly targets and goals basically in December, and I think
I was very reserved.
And the dean thought I was a bit bullish, but we basically we smashed that, and it was quite a bullish target. But that was the biggest thing that when this actually came to fruition. That's the biggest shock we've had. It just happened growing too quickly, too big too quickly, and just trying to manage that and like I said, the customers' expectations of that. So I don't know what we would have done differently. It was such a changing situation every day. Yes. I think.
I'm Martin is full steam ahead with those opportunity where I like to be prepared and have the ducks in a row first. So we started end of last year to have step by steps, and so that experience as it is internal with our team. That workflow is working as well as for the customer external experience, that workflow is consistent. So the biggest surprise, I suppose, from that end that we had had not the time to play it out in various situations, that we just had to, okay, this is the current situation, this is the SOP in place now, does that work, yes or no? So there is not a lot of testing. The active customers are our testing, and that's how we adjust. So that's the biggest one where I would have prepared a bit longer and more. We didn't have that time to do so. But you can see it as a pro and as a con, but that, I think, for me, that was one of the biggest surprise.
But I think we have a good, that yin and yang of bear and bull actually is why we work really well together, is because we equalise each other, and hopefully it comes out all good on the other end. So yeah, it's quite good.
So if you could go back a year and do last year all over again, is there anything you would do differently to prepare for this year?
Last year we were doing complete structure changes in the business. I think if this situation happened back then, we'd probably be in a totally different. And this Nadine's ducks in a row application, standard operating procedures, that implementation by virtue made us quite ready for this situation. So I'm glad we did what we did. I'm glad we had sleepless nights back then to get where we were now, and still sleepless nights, but it's helped a lot. It's made the situation.
Yes, last year was very confronting and very actual and very to a point of, what are we doing? Is this the right thing? And we joined this group of business people last year, and that helped us, I think.
It's a set foundations.
Set foundation.
You may have heard of Kerwin Ray? Have you heard of him at all?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, so we're part of his K2 group. So
he's one of our business mentors, and without his guidance and setting the foundation,
purpose,
and
mission,
where we kind of believed in our dream and ability, where we put what are we about, what's our purpose in life, and to put this on paper and then to act on it and drive on it. I don't think we would have been ready last year, but anything we're ready this year for sure. We've done it. If we were, this happened last year, I don't think we would have coped mentally and operationally. But now, being that team and having that community support network of those business people around us that make us stronger, and when we're in doubt, we can call out, and that definitely helped us.
This is one in a series of interviews we've done with various businesses to learn more about how they're adjusting, because every business has different challenges. If you want to see more of these, check out the description of this video for links to more of these interviews, or click on this video I'm popping up on the screen here. I've also included a completely different type of video that you might be interested in. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.